Hello, fourth semester student. Today it is a special class for you, and this is all about the pressure group of India. Already I have discussed in the class about the various concepts of pressure group in India, but today I am discussing little bit about the special nature or characteristics of India's pressure group. So one number of points I have already collected and I will discuss them one after another. So please, first one is adopted traditional and modern technique. That means the pressure group in India, they have adopted both traditional and modern technique. So what is traditional technique? Traditional technique means to play with caste card, community card, language card, etc. When they are working for a caste group or a community group or a linguistic group, etc., then it is termed as traditional, what I can say, the traditional attitudes or traditional method of working. And so far as modern method is concerned, here what happened, the members of the pressure group, they influence the members of the legislature, members of the executive, government official, bureaucrats, etc., to fulfill their own interest. So, in a nutshell, we can say that they adopted both the methods, that is traditional as well as modern, to fulfill the interest of their own group members. So, second one is use of force and violence. So, far as India is concerned, it is a democracy, and in a democracy, people can actually put their demand in a democratic way. So that thing is also going on in India. But along with that, sometimes we observe that the pressure groups which are not committed to any particular ideology, they even become violent and created anarchical situation in the country to fulfill their demand. But it is not a natural norms. Most of them are following the democratic way of fulfilling their demands, but sometimes these types of violence and using force also take place in India. So next one is absence of independence and autonomous status. So if we study the history of pressure group of Western countries, especially of USA, we will find that the pressure groups are playing a very significant role in that country, and they have their own autonomous and independent status even. But so far as our country is concerned, here the pressure group are actually developed under the influence of political parties or with the blessing of the political parties. And that is why, not directly but somehow or other, they are indirectly remaining under the control of the political parties, and in that way they have lost their own independent status, autonomous status. We remember that thing, that they are not autonomous, they are controlled by one or another political parties directly or indirectly. The next one is presence of antagonistic group. So what is the meaning of antagonistic group? Antagonistic group means opposite group. So you know that in India we have multi-party system, and the ideology of the political parties are also differ from one another. So it is very natural that pressure groups who are under the umbrella of the political parties, so they are also differ from one another. Their interests may not differ, but sometimes their thinking are differ, and there are differences among the pressure groups. The next one is some of the pressure groups are permanent and some of the pressure groups are temporary. Some of the pressure groups are constituted in India to fulfill some temporary interest. After the fulfillment of that interest, ultimately that pressure group hither away. There is no necessity of that pressure group to continue. Here we can give the example of, now Telangana become an independent state. Telangana become a state. So before that, the pressure groups in Telangana, they are actually demanding a separate state, and when they got the separate statehood, ultimately that pressure group is not there or not working now. Same is the case with Jharkhand Mukti Morcha also. So these type of pressure groups are created only to fulfill a particular demand, and when that particular demand is fulfilled, there is no necessity of continuation of that pressure but some other pressure groups are there, like business related to trade union group, business groups, then related to professional groups, student union. All these are permanent pressure groups. They are working every now and then to fulfill the interest of their own people under their own group. So actually the permanent pressure groups are more prominent than that of the temporary pressure group. The next one is Indian pressure group. Next one is the Indian pressure groups. If we analyze their activities, we will find that there are different types of pressure groups in India. Some are based on religion, some are based on community, some are working for the fulfillment of political gain, and some for economic protection and all these things. But you remember one thing, that though their characteristics, they are actually have different characteristics, but these are not actually static. One political pressure group based on religion may turn into a political pressure group tomorrow. So there is no hard and fast rule. The pressure group will always follow the same characteristics. It will change its characteristics according to the demand of the situation. So you remember that thing. The next one is national and regional. If we study the history of the pressure group in India, we will find that some of the pressure group in India are national in character and some are regional in character. As for instance, if we take the example of Assam, that means All Assam Students Union, it is working here for the welfare or for the interest of the students of Assam. But if we take the example of SFI, Students Federation of India, it is working for the benefit or for the welfare of the students community as a whole throughout the country. So some are regional and some are national. The next one is it is a very important characteristics of Indian pressure group, that is the labor organization or trade unions are very weak pressure group in Indian context, because trade unions are generally controlled by the political parties, and though their interests are same to protect the interest of the labor class, but these political parties actually divided among them and they are become weak pressure group in India. And sometimes these political parties, they try to use those labor organizations to fulfill their own interest. So remember that thing, the trade union which are working in India, they are not so much powerful. But who are powerful? It is another characteristic. The most powerful pressure group in India is the business and industrialist group. They are very much powerful because they are controlling everything, and actually they pressurize the government to form the laws in that way which can fulfill the interest of the producing class and not the labor class. So remember that thing, they are the most important pressure group in India. And last but not least is another one. What is the relation of pressure group with the government? Generally the pressure group try to maintain very good relation or try to influence the politicians, the leaders of the various political parties, then the bureaucrats, because they are responsible for framing and implementing the policies of the government, because they are the part and parcel of executive. So the members of the pressure group always try to influence the members of the executive, and they are also aware of the fact that members of the legislature are responsible for framing laws in the country. So what they are doing, they are also trying to influence the members of the legislature to frame such type of laws which may be beneficial for them. So this is in nutshell about the characteristics of Indian pressure group. So now I will give you some example. I think all of us are aware of this example even, but I will give so it will be easier for you to remember the name of certain pressure group. First one is business group. I will give you the example of two. Number one is FICCI, Federation of Indian Chamber of Commerce, and next one is All India Manufactured Organization. Next I give you the example of trade union, Indian National Trade Union Congress. Next one is CITU, Center of Indian Trade Unions, and third one is Hind Mazdoor Sabha. Then peasant organization, All India Agriculturist Federation and All India Kisan Sammelan. The student organization SFI, Student Federation of India, AISF, All India Student Federation, ASU, All Assam Students Union. Then youth and women organization, Democratic Youth Federation of India, Mohila Congress, etc. Then professional bodies, as for instance, I am citing you the example of one organization relating to the relating to the teachers, university and college teachers. This is known as IFICTO, All India Federation of University and College Teachers Organization, AIFUCTO. Then Indian Medical Association, then Bar Council of India, etc. So these are some of the important patient groups which are working in India. So this is in nutshell about today's lecture. If possible, you send me your, what I can say that your reaction or your feedback, and if anything is necessary, you can call me. I will try to give it next time. Thank you. Good night.